Hello and welcome to another lesson in our VBA programming. In our previous lessons, we dealt with how to create a form like this, okay? And we created the front end here, which you can see with the design and everything. So in this lesson, we're going to go ahead and write the codes to control the form and then be able to take our data or input from here straight to Excel table as our database. It's going to be very simple, straightforward, and fun, okay? So let's quickly delve right into that. But then if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please don't forget to subscribe. Press the bell icon so that you can receive notifications anytime we upload new tutorials. If you want to watch our previous tutorials, we also have the links in the video's description below. You can just check the links out and watch our previous tutorials. Don't forget to also like, share, and comment, and whatever questions you have, you can leave them under the comment section below and then we get them handled. As easy as that. Thank you. So let's quickly delve right into today's lesson. Hello and welcome to another lesson in our VBA training. And in this lesson, we're going to complete to the second part of our assignment solution. So let's dive right into that. So we go for our teachers details project. There we go. Right. I think we already have some stuff here, right? Good. So let's just trigger this open and then Alt F11. We have our user form here. Let's see something here. Okay. Good. I think let's clear whatever we have here. We use this when we're working around the list box. Okay, so we clear it. Perfect. Good. So now we continue with what we are supposed to do. So with the form, we are left with some things here. That is the what's the name? Option button. So we just go for them and then so we have here for mail. We can just mail here. Just make a copy of it. Control C and Control V. Get a female here. Okay. So we just put FE there. Perfect. Can select them and then go to fonts. We want to bold them and then Times New Roman. Then okay. We debug it and we have this. Now let's try renaming them. Just clear this. You can see the name is option button 1. So let's make it specific. We can name it OPT1 for short so that we don't have to type that long thing. OPT2. Okay, that is option 1, option 2. Good. So now we need to start collecting our data from this sheet. Okay, let's work around our code so that we have if there's a navigation bar here, we can see it clearly. So let's run it and see. Good, it's okay. Now let's start working on our add button. So we double click. So we're going to take details from this form and then display it here, and then that is sheet 1, so don't forget of that. And then the settings sheet is the sheet 2. Okay, so that's that. So let's go here, double click on the add and save and begin work. So we're going to be using comment here to make our project very nice. Okay, so we start with data validation. We would love to validate some data. I wouldn't do that, so just some. So first of all, I would make sure that the user doesn't skip entering the name. So I'll have to validate that field or that text box. Okay, so I'll say if that'll be text box. Sorry. if text box 2 is equal to, let's say, empty, then we want to prompt the user to do something. Okay, we want to give him a message. So let me just put if here. Oh, I forget. Okay, I want to prompt the user to do something, and that should be what I'll say. Sorry, please enter name. Okay, and then I need to set the text box 2 to focus. A text box 2 dot set focus. Perfect. And then from there I need to exit SAP so that it doesn't run other macros or continue to the next line. Perfect. So that's that. So I've now validated the first one. So if I should come this way and then try to click on add, they prompt me to enter name. Perfect. Let's go back. Continue. So what's next? Let's validate the option buttons. The person must choose either male or female, right? Let's work around that as well. So with that, we're going to use if statement. Okay, so we say if opt1, that is option 1, which is what the male dot value equal to false, and we're going to use the two at once, and the opt2 dot value also equal to false. Then we'll have an if here. Then what should happen? Then we would want to prompt the user and say, please, message box, and say it should be a string. Please choose gender. Okay, perfect. That's okay. So let's run it, see something here. So let's assume we've entered the name and want to add, say please choose gender. So we'd have to choose gender. Perfect. That's that. So that is working as well. But at least you can validate the rest. This is an assignment solution, so I don't have to go deep into that. So we move now. So the next line of action should now be taking our details now straight to what what's the name, the sheet. Okay, good. So now let's do that. So now let's add another comment here and say, okay, adding data to the database sheet. Perfect. So now we're going to dim some variables. So say dim x as long, and then want to dimension y as also worksheet. Okay, perfect. Now we want to set y, which is the worksheet, to that worksheet 1. Okay, that is sheet 1. So we say what? Set y equal to sheet 1. Okay, so that is that. So whenever we want to refer to sheet 1, we can use y, because y is equal to sheet 1. Now x is going to determine the last row without data, and then store our new data inside there. So x is equal to y, that is sheet 1. We wouldn't say sheet 1 here because we set sheet 1 to y to sheet 1. So y dot range, the y dot range into brackets, then a, and then and rows dot count, and bracket close dot end, they open another bracket, then xlap that with a close bracket dot row, and this determines the last row, and then with data, and then we add one to get the last row without data. So now we've done that. This will determine the last row without, you know all this. So let me just speed up with my work. So with y, it means with sheet 1. Okay, so we say end with, don't forget of that. end with. Okay, we want to do something. What do we want to do? We want to start taking details from our text boxes straight to the sheet. Okay, so we say what? Dot cells. Okay, dot cells. Which of the cells? X, that is the last row without data, comma, y, that is, sorry, x1, that is the first column. Dot value is equal to what? Text box, sorry, 1 dot text effect. So with this, it will give us the ID straight. It will just take the ID from the text box 1 straight to what? That is the, what's the name? That's the first column. Okay, so that is that. So we just take this one as well, just copy this, and then let's confirm the number of text boxes we have. Okay, so let's check that. Okay, we can check that from here. 1, 2, and we come to the options, then 3, 4, then the rest are, these two are combo boxes, and then the rest text boxes. Okay, so now we need a second one. Okay, we just need the second one here, copy this, and then we paste. So x2, that's the second column, going to text box what? 2. Perfect. Now the third one is going to be the option button, so we're going to use if statement. Okay, that is that. Let's just start with that. So we say if opt1, okay, that is the option 1. Okay, that is the mail dot value equal to true. What it means is that if the option button 1, that is opt1, is selected, which means it's true. If it is selected, it means it's true. So we say end if. Okay, if it's selected, what do we want to do? Then we want to choose or send mail onto the column 3. So we say what? Dot cells into bracket x, that is the third column, 3 dots, the value there should be equal to what? Should be equal to mail. Okay, good. So what it means is that if opt1, that is option 1, is selected, then we want to choose mail, then send it into the what? Third column on the sheet 1. Okay, so we can copy this and edit it to get that of the female. So Control C to copy and Control V to paste. Okay, so and edit this to opt2. Then we want to get that of what? Sorry, female. Perfect. So now we need how many? The next thing is this box and this box, which is 4 and 5. Okay, so let's take note of that. So we go back. So with down, we can just copy this. Control C to copy and Control V to paste. So we can just edit this to what? 4 and then 5. And this one will be the text box 4, and then this one as well, text box 5. So now we move on to the combo boxes. Okay, perfect. So you can still copy this and then and edit it. So Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Okay, so here will be the sixth column, and then 7th column. This is what I'm talking about. I'm talking of this one and this one. Okay, the combo boxes. Okay, so let's go back. Good. Combo boxes. So it's no more a text box, but rather they are combo boxes. So dot value is equal to combo box 1. Sorry, combo box 1 dot text, and then here it should be combo box 2. Let me just copy this. Control C and Control V. Then combo box 2 dot text. Okay, so we have done with the combo boxes. Now we move on straight to what? The rest, which is the text boxes. Control C to copy, Control V to paste, Control, but we don't need one. Let's take this one off so that it is square straight to 10. So this one becomes 8. This one becomes 9. This one becomes 10. Okay. This one equally becomes 8, 9 as well as what? 10 too. Okay. So you have 8, text box 9, and here text box 10. Perfect. So that is that. So here we can try. So it means now we are done submitting our data. Okay, we can try that and see. So let's run it and see something. So let's enter this, and then if you try to add, they'll say we should enter name. So let's enter name now, James. Let's try adding. They will say we should choose gender, so we choose male. Oh shit, it has even added because of it means I didn't exit sub after this particular prompt. After this, I should exit sub. Okay, let me just figure out that and do that. Let me clear this. It went ahead and added, although they prompted me to choose male because I didn't exit sub after the male. Let's see it here. If OPT1, then choose, then from here then I'll say exit sub. Exit sub. Thank you. Let's run it now. So so I should enter name, so I'll choose James. So now when I try to add, it will not add James again until I choose gender. So I'll choose gender now, then from here it can then add. Okay, so now if I enter this, enter that, choose this, choose that, enter something here, enter something here, enter something. Now I should click on add. It should add everything straight to the various columns. Okay, so that's that. Now I need a success message. Okay, and then the rest, and then clear the content inside it. You know all this, so don't have to go deep into that. Okay, so I'll need a success message. Okay, so straightforward, we do that. We say sorry, message box. So this should be the data added successfully. Okay, perfect. And then from there we would want to clear the content inside the what's the name text box. So we say unload me, and after that this will close the unload me will close the form. Then we would want to open the form again. So by the time the form will close and open again, it will clear the content. So user form 1.show, we want to show it, but that is opening it again. So with this it will just close and open, and then it will clear the content there, and then it means everything is done perfect. Okay. So let's run that and see. Just 2% here, and then the name whatever here. Okay, other email, ID, registered number, choose this, choose that, this. Should click on add. So data added successfully. Just close and open. Perfect, it's working. Now the next line of action is, I think you can see that our ID is not auto-generated, so we would want to auto-generate that. Okay, so to do that, you can guess, right? You can pause the video here and guess. What we do, we double click on the user form, straightforward. Then we double. After that, we would want to initialize it. We would want it that whenever the user form closes and open, it should generate, it should add 1 to the number that is already in the column. Okay, so that is that. So we just click here and choose initialize. It means when it starts. So after choosing initialize, you can clear this, and then you go for the initialize private sub. Okay, so we would want to write some syntax here. So we say what, the ID is in text box 1, so we say text box 1. You would want to set it to what, application. Okay, application dot worksheet function, the worksheet function. Okay, dot marks. I've already explained this, but I will redo that again. Into brackets, sheet 1 dot range Okay. Sheet 1 dot train to back. That's the first column. So column A, then column A to what? That is A. Then bracket close plus 1. Okay. What this line of code does is that the Excel application, in it there is a method called worksheet function. What does it do? Inside the worksheet function there is another function called marks. It increases. It is used to what? Add. Okay, what is it adding? Inside the sheet 1, the first range, that is the column 1, that is the column A, whatever number is inside there, just add 1 to it whenever the form closes and open. Initialize means close and open. Start, it restart. Okay, that is the meaning of initialize. So whenever that happens, if here has 2, so just add 1 to 2 and generate the third one. Okay, that is what we are doing. So now if we should run this now, you would see that automatically, let me just show you the output before it even gets there. Automatically here we should see 3 inside here. Let's run it. 3, because 1 has been added to 2, so it's ready to take the third input. So now we wouldn't have to be entering what's the name, the ID again. So it's auto generated now. So now when we do this, let's try adding another one. Aboma is a female, Ada is a female, so staff ID, this one as well, Okay, so we can then click on add. So once we add, it will add 1 to 3 to generate the fourth one. So we don't want anybody to do something to this, right? Change it. You can see for now they can change it. So we would want to disable it. So we click, close it, select it, go to let me check on enabled. Thank you very much. Enable should be set to what? False. And enable is set to false. It means we can't do anything to it. So for now it's disabled. Okay, very good. So that is that. You just have to set enable to false. Perfect. So that if I set the visibility to false, it means it will disappear. We wouldn't see it. There are some text boxes that we used to hold some data which we don't want the user to see. Are you the programmer? You know that there is something that is happening. I use this scenario in one of my programs. Okay, if I can remember, that is the stock inventory, something like that stuff. Okay, so we can do that. Good. So I think everything is working now. So now we just move on straight to the. Let's work on the close and then the reset syntax. With the close, you know the syntax, right? Let me just say what? Unload me. Oh shit. Unload me. That is the close. Okay, so with that one, you just run this. Once you click on close, it closes. Now with the reset, we use unload me and the user from 1.show. So we say what? Unload me. Then that will close it, and then we want to open it again. User from 1.show. Okay, perfect. So let's run it. So let's try entering some things here. Once we click on this, it will just open and close and open, and then it will clear everything. So basically that is that. Now we have to move ahead and check on the should we work on the search syntax now? Okay, let's go for the search. Okay, now let's double click on the search button and then we work around the search. Now the idea of the search is that whenever we click the search button, we would want to return or whatever is in the on the sheet back to the form. Okay, so that we can do whatever we want to do with it. But then before we do that, the idea too is that we would want it in a way that once the search button is clicked, we would want to disable this. Else the user might mistakenly click this, and then whatever we return here after search will be re-added again, which will duplicate data into the in the database. So we don't want it like that. So we will have to disable this first. Let's do that, then we'll proceed from there. So let's check it out. So to do that, first of all, we'll say what cmd. Okay, cmd add dot enabled. We will set it to what? False. Okay, there are two ways of doing it. We can choose either visibility. In that case, it wouldn't be disabled, but rather it will just disappear once the set button. I would want it to be there but disabled. It shouldn't work. So that is that. So after this, we need to dimension some, what's the name, variable. So we say dim x as long. Sorry, we would want to dim y2 as what? Also long. Okay. Then after that, we would want to set x, the last row, with data. So x is equal to sheet 1, sorry, sheet 1 dot range, tab it over into bracket, which of the range? That is, sorry, that is a and rows dot count, and bracket close dot end into bracket xlab bracket close dot rows, okay, dot row plus 1. Okay, so the next line of action is we would want to use for loop to loop through the various what rows, and then from there we're able to return whatever we want. So we say what for what, for y equal to x, we say what, next y effect. Don't forget of that. What we are saying is that for y, that is a column, equal to what, 2. Let's check from the 2. Okay, let's see. This is the, our data in the on the database here start with what, row 2. Then the x is the last row with what, data. Sorry, the one we have assigned is the last row without it. So we would want to search from here to the last data we have on our database. So whatever we would type in the search box, if it matches whatever is here, because we are searching using the name, and the name is in column what, B. Okay, that is the y2. Don't forget of that. And the search box is what, text box 11. Don't forget of this thing. These are the things we're going to make reference in our syntax. Okay, let's quickly get there and then do that. And so for y equal to what, 2 to x, I've just explained that. We want to use if statement to check. Like I said, if the u case, I'll explain that is the uppercase of what, sheet 1 dot cells. Like I said, y comma 2, that is the column 2 dot value, bracket close, equal to u case of text box 11 dot text, then end if. Okay, so basically what we are saying is that we are using this u case function so that we can be able to search using both cases, either upper or lower or combination of both. Okay, so if this condition is met, if whatever we search, if whatever we have in the text box 11 that is searched by is equal to any of the data in the column B, that is where we have is equal to any of the names, then we want to return that person's details back to the form. So let's start returning them. So we say what, text box 1 is equal to sheet 1 dot cells, tab it over into brackets, y comma 1 dot bracket close dot value. You can guess what this particular line of code will return. That is the ID, because ID is in the what, text box 1, and on the sheet ID is in what, y1, that is the first column. So let's go for the name. So this will return the name. Okay, the text box 2, this will be y2. Okay, now we need what's the name, the option buttons. We're going to use if statement. So we say if yes, we're going to use if. So we say if sheet 1 dot cells into brackets y comma 3 bracket close dot value equal to male, then end if. Let me just explain that. Okay, if sheet 1, our database sheet, the cells y3, this third column, this third column, if the value there is male, then we would want on a form that we would want to set the OPT1 to true. OPT1 is for the male. It means we would want that one to be selected. Else, if it is female, we would want the female to be selected. That is that simple as that. Let's go back. So if that condition is male, if it is male, then we would want to turn that one to true. So if it is male, so what OPT1 dot value equal to what? True. Perfect. That condition is met, in OPT1 would want to set it to what? True. And let's check what if it is female. So we'd want to set OPT to what? OPT2 to what? True rather. So in that case, if it is female, then OPT2 dot value should rather be true, and then the other one should be false. Perfect. So that is that. So now we move on and then get the other two boxes where we have. So we need this one here for this and that. Let me just confirm for this and that. Okay, that I will go to this and that. And so we'll just be copying and pasting and be editing. So let's go back. So now we have this will be the text box 4. This will be text box 5. This will be Y4, Y5. Okay. So we also need to paste this for the combo box. So this will be combo box 1, combo box 2. Okay, so this will be Y6, so Y7. This is for this and that. Now we are left with these 3 text boxes. Let's quickly check on that. You can paste, sorry, oh shit. We just copy this. So we can just delete the last one. This will give us a 10. So here should be, this is 4, 5, 6, 7. This should be 8. This should be 9. Sorry. This should be 10. This should be 8. Should be 9. Should be 10. Perfect. All that. Okay. So now I think it has then matched now. So let's try running it and then try searching for some data. Okay. Now let's try searching. Whatever we have here is Ali. Okay. Let's try Ali. Once we search, we have Ali there. I've just searched using the small letters and then it's working. Let's reset and try using uppercases. Ali, the search is working. So that is that. But the search criteria is also working. Okay, so now let's move on to the should we look for the updates? Okay, let's check on update. Okay, so let's double click on updates. We have the subroutine here. Okay, so now with the updates, we're going to first of all dimension some variables here. So we say dim x as what long. Okay, then dim y as also what long. Perfect. And then we want to set x, the last row without data, so x is equal to sheet1 dot range, sheet1 dot range into brackets a and rows dot count bracket close dot end, sorry, end into brackets xlab bracket close dot row plus 1. Okay, perfect. Okay, dot row rather, not plus 1. Okay, perfect. That is that. Now This will determine the last row with data. So what we want to do right now, we would want to still use the use the for loop to loop through and compare. If the condition is met, then we'd want with the update. Let me just give a simple explanation with that before we come and write the syntax. When the update is clicked, before we update something, we need to search and bring it here. Once the data is displayed here, we can do any changes here. When we do the changes here, by that time this one is disabled, so we can click on add to return the same thing again. Okay, it will duplicate the data, but then we can only update. And once we click on update, we are returning here, and whatever is wrong already on the sheet that we brought here and then change, it will go and replace the wrong one there, and then that will be perfect. That is the idea of the update. Okay, so let's quickly continue. Okay, so that is that. So just for after that, we need to loop and then check the condition just as we did with that of the set. So we're going to use the for. So say for y equal to 2x. We would want to use this statement here. Let's locate the search. This is search. Let's copy this. Come to this. This is next to y here. Okay, perfect. We want to paste this here. If this condition, this one we are comparing whatever is in the column to whatever is in the search box. Okay, you already know this line. You say and if, okay, and if the condition is met, then we would want to return everything back to that. So with that one, we can just go and copy all the add syntax and bring it here. So with the add, so to speed up everything, is the add syntax. So we can just copy all this. Kai, with that one. Okay, it wouldn't be possible because without we've deemed y as worksheet, and then we were using the y and then the dot cells. Okay, so I think it will be a bit wide here, unless of course we decide to do this again, dim y as worksheet. That is when we can copy this straightforward and go and paste it there. Okay, we can equally do that as well, but then using two, okay, this would be a different thing. Okay, so let's come here. I don't want to confuse you, then but that is how we learn. So you can equally okay, it will not be possible. Let's just do what we are supposed to do. Okay, let's write it. Okay, so we'd want to what's the name, take whatever we have on the form back straight to what the sheet. Okay, so with that one we say what sheet one, that is the destination. Sheet one dot cells, sheet one dot cells into bracket y comma one dot value equal to text box one. Okay, text box one dot value. Perfect. So whatever we take from text box one should be sent to what sheet one dot cells y1. That is the first column on this particular sheet. So this is y2, y3, and now. So we're going to copy and edit, copy paste and edit. Okay, this will be what this will be sheet. Sorry, this will be text box 2, and this will be y2. That's the second column. Perfect. Then we go to the options. Okay, so the option by say if opt1, okay, dot value, oh sorry, if opt1 dot value equal to true, then and if option 1 is selected, that means it's true. If that is that, then we want to say what sheet 1 dot cells y comma 3, that's the third column. We have the gender dot value equal to female. Okay, sorry, dot value equal to male rather. OPT1 is male. Okay, so that is that. Then we copy this and edit and get out of the female. Okay, so OPT2 dot value equal to what? Female. Perfect. Okay, so we then go ahead and get the rest, the other text boxes and then the combo boxes. Okay, we paste this here and then let's check. It should be Y4, Y5. Yeah, it should be text box 4. Sorry, this should be text box 5. Perfect. Now we need the combo boxes. This should be Y6, Y7. This should be combo box 1. And this should be combo box 2. Just copy this and then just paste this. And I can still take this one now, copy this, and then I just clear the last one here. Okay, and we can then edit this to its to be 9. This should be 10. This should be 8. This should be 9. And it should be 10 perfectly. So after that, we would want to return success message. Okay, so we would want to say successfully, and then once we are able to do that, we would want to empty the various text boxes. So to do that, we'll just close and open it. So to close, we say what? Unload me, sorry, unload me, and then to open it, we say what? User form 1 dot form 1 dot show. Perfect. Let's run it. See, okay, so now let's search for the Ali boy. We search for Ali. So we want to add the second name to make it. So we say Ali Abu. So once we click on update, it should update that. Okay, Ali Abu now is now updated. Okay, let's see. Ali Abu's it's not a male but a female. So let's see that. Ali Abu. Search the gender. Okay, let's assume that it's not academic qualification, it's not DB, but rather it's a degree. Okay, initially it was DB. Okay, we want to change it to what degree is DB here. So let's we want to change. So let's click and we'll see. So it has changed to what degree. Then here too, it has changed to degree. It means our update is working. Now let's work on the last one, which is what the delete. We'll double click it and hit and there. With the delete, we'll equally search. And once we search, then we want to just click and then we delete. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, where is the subroutine for the delete? No, this is bullshit. Well, this is subroutine for the delete here. Perfect. Now let's declare our variable. So we say what? Dim. This one we can just copy it because it's going to be the same as this one. Yeah. Select all this and then even we will need this. from here, and then okay, let's copy it. We'll complete the rest there. Okay, for y we have the next y, then if, then we have the end if. So for y should have the next y. I don't want to confuse you. Copy and paste has some disadvantages. Okay, right, and then the if statement here should have end if. Perfect. So we've gotten that. So y next y if and if that is that. So if we are able to compare this, if this condition is met, then we would want to here to, let me just like this. Okay. For this we determine the last row with data, not without data. Okay, so here, and once the condition is met, we would want to delete. So how do we delete? Say what? Rows. By deleting the rows into bracket, that is y bracket close dot, then we call the delete function. Then once it's deleted, then shift, then colon, okay, then equal to XL up. Perfect. So that is that. This will delete the row for that particular person. Let's run. You can see. Okay, let's search for Ali Abu. Ali Abu is search for him. So let's click on delete. Click on delete. Ali Abu is deleted. And once we delete it, we want to receive. You see that here we didn't receive any success message. Let me reset the button and then let's add another thing. Yeah, okay. Female staff ID is like this. This. Okay. Let me just click on add. Okay, add here. Okay, now let's go back to the delete syntax and write the success message syntax as well as the, let me just call this one here. Perfect. And then this one should go up a bit. Good. That is that. Good. So now the next thing is, like I said, let's go back to the delete syntax and write the success message here. Okay. Write that here. Let me say what? Message box. Deleted successfully. Perfect. That is done. And once that is done, we would want to clear the form. So we say unload then user from one dot show. Perfect. So let's go back. Search for Amaya. Okay. You got that. So you click on delete and then data deleted successfully. Finish. Perfect. Everything is working perfect. So let's add another thing. For from here we are proceeding straight to adding of what the picture to our database, right? Okay, so let's check on that. Before we do that, let's first of all add some details here. Some short name, Abu Buddha, female. We add that. Okay, the second person is Musa. Yeah. Good. So we can use this tool for references. So now you need to add as a picture to the system. Okay, so once we click on this, it should open the dialog box. Then we choose the picture and then click on add, and then the picture should be added. So let's double click this. Sorry, let's double click this. So we have the subroutine here. So let's write the syntax here. So we want to dimension some variable here. So we say dim x as integer. Okay, so I've already explained this. Let me speed up my work. Application. So it's application dot file dialog into brackets MSO file dialog open. I'll explain, don't worry. Into bracket dot allow multi-select. We set that to what? False. Okay, so basically that is that. What we are saying is that in the application function, we would want to what? Call on the file dialog. And once the file dialog is called, what do we want to do? We would want to use the open property. So we want to open it. And once it's open, we don't want to select more than one file. We just want to select just a single file. So we then allow multi-select to what? False. That is what we've just done. Okay. Now the next thing is we need to, the x we have just dimensioned here, we need to assign a value to. So we say x is equal to application dot file dialog. Okay, dot file application dot file dialog into bracket MSO file dialog open and bracket close dot show. Once the file dialog is open, it should be displayed on the screen. So we want to use some if statement to do some comparison here. So we say if x is not equal to 0, what it means is that if x is equal to 0, meaning if it is shown, then we can select. If the dialog box is open, it means we can go ahead and select the picture. Okay, so that is that. Sorry. Okay, if x is equal to 0, it's not equal to 0, then so we have end if here. But then before we quickly do that, let's quickly go ahead and then declare get our global variable here. So we say what? Dim f5 as string. Perfect as that. Good. Go. So here, if we are able, since we are given a chance now after this condition is met to select, so we would want to call on the fpath variable here. So say fpath is equal to, and we assign it to what? Application.file dialog box open. Okay, application dot file dialog, application.file dialog into brackets MSO file dialog open. Okay, bracket close dot selected items is equal to, sorry, selected items into bracket 1. What we are saying is that with the file path is equal to what? Application. Inside application function, the file dialog box should open, and once it's open, we would want to select the selected item should be just one. Okay, you can't select more than one item. Okay, so once that is done, where do we want to keep the item? We would want to keep it inside here, and this is what? Image 1. Okay, so take note of that. Image 1. Okay. So you say what? Image 1 dot picture is equal to load picture from the what? The file path where the picture is taken from. Just load it and keep it inside the image 1. And once it is inside the image 1, the frame, we would want to define some property the way we want it to appear. So we say what? Image 1 dot picture size mode. We want to set the size mode should just be equal to what? 1. There are some instances where the picture will be in the frame and then it will be divided into multiple pieces. Like you see the head here, you see some division, like it's in a tile form, something like that stuff. But in this case, we just want to set it, we just want it to fit inside the frame, just one picture as a whole. So basically that is what we are doing. So now let's run this and see. Now let's run this. Once we click on this, you can then go ahead and select the picture. Okay, let's see something here. Training materials, base. Good. So like this. For now we can't add, okay, unless we go to the add syntax before we can do that. Basically that is that. Okay, so now let's close this, or let's reset the form and close this. Now let's double click. Now let's write the syntax that will help us when we click on the add, the picture should be what added into the database. Okay, so let's do that. So we double click this, then let's come down here. Okay, we can just do that here after the end. Okay, so here we're going to dimensions some variables. So before we do that, we say what on error. I have explained this. Say if there is an error in the picture selection or whatever error, we don't want to stick to that error, but rather we want to skip it and go to the next line of action. So we say what on error, resume what next. Perfect. So we want to dimensions some variable. Say what dim I as what string. We are just declaring another variable here. So we are setting I equal to what text box, text box 2. You know, text box 2 is the one holding the what's the name, the name of the person, right? Let's confirm that. Let's come back here. This one is holding the name. What we want to do is that we want it that when the picture is saved, it should be saved with the name. Okay, that is what we want to do. It should be saved with the name. So let's do that. So let's go back. Okay, oh no, this should be in the add syntax. Okay, let's locate where we are now. Now we set I to be text box 2 now. Perfect. Now the next line of action is we would want to now copy the part of the file and save it somewhere. So to do that, we say what? File copy. Where should it be copied from? From the path. Okay, the F path. Comma. Now, in this case, in our previous lesson, this is where I demonstrated something like you creating a folder here. Okay, create a folder like this. Fix. Okay, then you right click, you press on the shift button, then right click, then you copy the folder path. Okay, once you copy the folder path, you come back here and paste it. Sorry, and oh, why is it not pasting? Right click, say copy as path. Perfect. Then we come here, then we paste it, and once that is pasted, okay, like this, then we add a slash forward slash here, and we concatenate it to I like this. Then we concatenate it to what extension like this dot jpg, sorry, g. So with this we can be able to save the picture inside that particular folder. Okay, let's try that and see. Let's minimize this and get this rolling. Kuma female. Okay. Okay, choose a picture. Once we click on add, okay, let's confirm from that folder if we can see the picture there. The picture is here. with the name. But this is the problem here. Here is the catch. If you write a program like this and you give it to another person to run it on his or her PC, this particular extension here will be missing. This particular file extension we've copied and pasted will not be there. Let me just go this way. This particular extension will not be there. The person's extension here might be different from that of yours. How do we take care of this? In this case, we would have to write a syntax that will let the program itself automatically create a folder on any PC that is running this program and save that picture inside that folder. Okay, so that is what we're going to do. So here I'm going to delete this one. Don't need it. In this case, we are making it dynamic. Wherever it finds itself, it should be able to work. Perfect. So to do that, we can just say, so inside the drive C, I'm maintaining this one because at the end of it, we're going to concatenate it to the name and then the file extension .jpg. Okay. Inside the drive C, I would want the drive C is my hard drive. Okay, I would want to create a folder. What should be that folder? I want to give it like data. Okay, and inside the data, I would want to give another, what's the name, folder called photos. Perfect. So inside the data, it's in the C, there's going to be a folder called data. It will create, when I run this macro, it will create a folder called data. And inside the data, there's going to be another folder called photos. And inside the photos, it will store this particular image here with the name. It will just add this to the image and then do what? Concatenate it with the what? The function, the extension, and store it inside that folder. But before we can achieve that, let's quickly come back to the bottom here. Here. That is when we click on the, what's the name, add button. Okay, the form will initialize, like we said. This is where the form will close and open, and this one will be added to whatever number we already have, to whatever row number we already have, and then generate the next one. So initialize that means once the form is closed and open, that is that. So here too, once that happens, we would want to just take the picture and store it inside a folder. So here too, we can say what? On error, resume next. Okay. Once that is done, then we're going to call on the directory of the image. So we say mk directory, that is the directory of what? The image. Then we can just go ahead and copy what I've just pasted there, like the, what's the name, the file directory. Where is it? This one here. We just need this. Just copy this, Control C to copy this, and we just come down here. And we paste it here. Okay, but here is the catch. Here we just want first one. We just want the first folder like this, the data, and then the second one here. Here we have. Here we need these two now. The folder as well as the subfolder. Okay, perfect. So we are complete with these two. So now when the form is initialized, it will then what? Store the picture. Initially, without this syntax here, when the form is initialized, it will just clear the picture and it wouldn't be saved inside the folders we created. But with this, when the form is initialized, it will just store the picture inside the folder there. Now let's go back here and check something. The C drive. This is the C drive. Okay, you can see there is nothing like data here. I already have this one, which is for a different program, std data. Now once I run this program here, it will create another folder called data. and inside that data one, it will create another folder called what? Photos or photo or whatever. Just confirm that. That is photos. Okay. Let me confirm it here to make sure that the syntax is not different. It's the same. Photos. Okay, let's run it now and see something. Run. Okay, you can minimize this and get this one here. Let's check inside the see. This is the folder data inside the photos. So this is where the image is going to be stored. So now, okay, now let's open this here again. So let's open it down and then we try entering what's the name, a data with a picture and save it and see what's going to happen. Isa, it's a male ID. We have this registered number. We have this VBA. Let's give this one Isa. So click on save now. This is the initialization I'm talking about. The form just close and open. Perfect. Let's go to that folder and see something. You can see the image here. Isa, let me just view it in a very large icon. So this is it. So with this, once this program is given to another person and the person runs it, it will create a folder there and all the images will be stored together with their names. So basically that is that. Now the program is now dynamic. It can run on any system without any problem. So basically that is that. So now we have now added the picture. Let's see how we can update the picture. You can search for the picture and then we can equally delete the picture. Let's work around that and then we'll be good to go. Let's quickly go back this way. So now we're going to check on the search, how we can search for the picture now. So we double click on this. So this is the search syntax. So we can just come here at the end here and bring it out here. Good. So here you can equally say on error resume next. Okay. So we call on the image one dot picture equal to load. We want to load the picture. Load picture. Want to load picture from where are we loading the picture from? We're loading it from that particular folder we created. So we call on the extension. This is C. Then / inside there we have folder called data. Inside the data we have folder called photos. Then / again. And then we bring this there. So we would want to concatenate it to what? The search box. Okay, that is why we have the name we are searching for. So we have the text box what 11. So that will be text box 11 dot text. Okay, we then would want to concatenate this to what the value inside the text box 11. That is the search box. The value we concatenate it to what the extension. So we say what .jpg. Perfect. Now we want to close the bracket. So once we get that, we want to define the image property. So we say image1 dot picture size mode. How the picture should appear. It should just appear as a one picture. That is that. So let's run that and see. Isa is with the picture. Let's search for Isa. We have that here perfectly. Now let's see how we can equally update the picture. Okay, let's update the picture. So to do that, just click on double click on update. So we come here, use the update syntax here. So you can have that here. Good. Okay. No, you can just have that here now. Good. So we say what on error resume next. We can be copying that and be pasting that. Okay. Let's write error, resume, next. Okay, and once we get that, we want to dimension, say dim I as what? String. Okay, perfect. I, as usual, I equal to what is holding the name, text box 2 dot text. Okay, that is the name. Text box 2 is holding the name. Okay, so we just use the file path stuff. So we just say file copy f path comma c, sorry, c, then this, then forward slash. Then we have a folder called data forward slash, and inside the data you have photos forward slash, then this. We would love to concatenate it towards I, that is what the name. Okay, because I here is storing the name is coming from text box 2, so I, then we concatenate it towards the extension like this dot jpg, this. Okay, so with this we can then update our picture as well. So let's do that now and see. So let's search for Isa. Once we search for Isa, let's assume it's not Isa's image. We would want to give Isa a different image. Let's give Isa this one here. Open. So once we click on update, it should update that. So let's confirm from the folder there. Yeah. So we have this now. Isa is now updated with a new image. Perfect. Now the last thing is how to delete. Okay, how we can delete that. So let's double click on delete. So here we need to declare some variable here before we do whatever we want to. So we say dim I, which is holding the name. Okay, as what? String. You know that the I is holding the, what's the name? Is holding the for now we are declaring the I as a string, and then we are setting it to hold the name. Okay, so we say what? I equal to text box 2. Okay, dot text. So once that is done, the moment we come here now, okay, this will delete the row, and once the row is deleted, we would want to what? Delete. Use the kill function. So we say kill, then we call this particular extension here, this one, this, Control C. Yeah, perfect. This will delete the picture for us. Okay, together with the everything. Let's run it and see. Let's search for Isa. Once we delete, it's already deleted. Gone. Let's go to the folder and check. It's also gone. So that is how we can add, delete, search, update, clear everything in a user form. So this brings us to the end of the solution to our assignment. So till our next lesson, say thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.